2, 1, 0.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Hello, welcome to everyone. Conversations to Raise Vibrations. My name is Lisa Kelly, and as always, I am joined by the beautiful Elvira Hopper. Thank you. Today, we are super excited. If you're joining us, hopefully you've given StreamYard permission to put your comments up so we can see who it is that's commenting. If not, please just throw your name under there so we can address each and every comment that comes up. I love the conversations that come up in this conversations to raise vibrations. If you're watching this later, just hit #replay. And as always, please let us know what you love about these conversations, because we ultimately are here to serve you. And if you're watching later on YouTube, our YouTube channel that is growing weekly, we are so grateful for you. Please, if you feel so aligned, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So Janet is joining us.
Good morning, Janet's Janet. Here.
Hello. I feel like we all need to bring our tea or coffee because it's, conversation. So
I have water. It's not wine. It's water. I love your mug. What's on your mug?
I know, me too. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous. I love it. And polka dots are my thing, and pink is my thing. Oh my goodness, I need to get that mug.
Do you know what? I love it. I'm a mug person.
Yeah.
So I always choose the right mug for my coffee in the morning. And I was at, I think, Winners or HomeSense, and this was just sitting alone on the shelf, and it was calling my name.
Oh, Lisa, take me home. I love it.
Janet loves my mug. Thank you, Janet.
Yes. Because she's gorgeous too. Amazing.
All right. So today we have a beautiful conversation for you that was inspired by the beautiful Elvira. So I'm actually going to let Elvira introduce this conversation today. Take it away. Oh, and Joe, can you see my name yet? No. Wait. Yes, we can. Joe. Yes, I can see your name.
I'm so glad she's here.
Yes, love it.
Oh my goodness, I love the vibes of not doing this by ourselves and just being able to share this with these beautiful women. So if anyone, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I just said it's way better to have all of them on here with us.
The vibration is higher, right? When we're doing this all together. So so if anyone's watching on YouTube, feel free, if you are a woman over 40 and you want to rock your act too, to, head on to Facebook and join Lisa's group. It's amazing. There's over, how many now? Is it close to 19,000 people globally?
Close to 19,000.
Oh my God. It's so cool. And it's such a beautiful group. There's so many amazing people there. And so if you join us there, we're live every Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock, 11 to 11:30 EST. So join us live if you're on YouTube and you want to talk to us live, because then Lisa downloads it later in the day to YouTube. So, but we love this conversation. So thank you, Lisa. Yay. All right. So today I want to bring up something very vulnerable. And I got permission from my son to talk about this. So it's all good. It might make people kind of squirm a little bit, because when we speak the truth, sometimes people are like, ooh, should she even be saying that, but the fact is, when things are out and they're in the open, they take, the shame is gone. Right. So I went through something really shameful a few days ago, and I want to share it with you. So here's what happened. Is anyone familiar? Put it in the comments if you are, with the game Wordle. WORDLE. You've heard of it, right? Yeah. So you haven't played it yourself, right, Lisa? No. Okay. So it's a game that my son and his partner have introduced to us, because they're into all the hip stuff, hip in the now stuff. And they shared this with us on our family WhatsApp group. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Right. And I started doing it. I'm like, this is really cool. So we started, I started doing it, and we would share our score, on the group. Right. And then there was one day, a couple of days ago, where I was really, really busy, and I saw that everybody guessed it. Like you have 1 to 6 tries to get it right. And it's like Scrabble, it's hard to explain. Just check it out and see what you think of it for yourself. But it's a cool game.
Is it an app?
It's an app. Yeah. Like you click on it and it just opens up, and it's this game, right? So anyway, so one day, like most of us were, usually getting it in about 3 or 4. So that's reasonable. But this one day, it was like everybody was getting it in like 5 or 6. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be hard. And I've got a really busy day. So I actually said to my husband, I'm not getting this. Like I'd spent half an hour on it. I wasted so much time. Like I'm a busy entrepreneur, right? I said to my husband,
Yeah.
what's the word? What's the word? He's like, I can't tell you the word. That's cheating, right? And I'm like, this is stressing me out, right? So anyways, it was just like, eventually I got it, right? And I forget how many guesses I guessed it in. And then the next day, it was stressful again because again it was a difficult word, and I hope I'm recalling this correctly. But anyway, so I just didn't have time in my day to do it, and I felt pressure because everybody in our group, my husband and my son and his partner, all had theirs in there, their scores in there. So I'm like, I'm going to Google like what's the answer to this. And it wasn't very good to do that, right? So anyways, I Google it and I don't get the answer, but I get a hint. So I guessed it right away. So they got it like in 5 or 6. I got it in 3 because I cheated. So so I
I,
put it in, yeah.
I know where you're going with this, but I actually kind of find it a little bit funny. But yeah, okay.
It is funny, but it's also shameful. Okay. So anyways, so I get it in 3. So my son's like, "Woohoo, mom, impressive, right?" And I'm like, don't be too impressed. I cheated. I looked it up, right? He's like, "What?" And he got like, he had this like dog angry face there and he goes, "I take back my statement," right? And I'm like, "Oh, I felt so much shame. My son witnessed me cheating, right? It felt shameful, right? And my husband wasn't impressed. His partner didn't say anything. God bless them. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I let down my son. Like, he was not impressed. I wasn't impressed with myself. I said, you know what? That felt like crap. I don't ever want to do that again. And I stated that. I said that was wrong. That's not going to happen again, just so you know, right?
Yeah.
So what I got present to, Lisa, is, being a person that does their inner work every day, right? This was a layer that I had to release, that layer of, well, I'm a former perfectionist, people pleaser, right? So I had to release another layer of shame around
Mhm.
not being perfect. Like I
Yeah.
cheated, right? I'm not perfect. I have a shadow. You have a shadow. We all have a shadow.
Yeah.
And it's not about pretending the shadow's not there and hiding it.
Yeah.
It's about putting it in the light of day and saying, I see you, shadow. I love you.
Yeah.
You don't rule my life, but
Yeah.
you can ride along with me, right? I consider the shadow, the ego, very similar.
Yeah.
So I choose to live as my higher self, but I still love my shadow. I love my ego. I've
Yeah.
integrated them into who I am. And
Yeah.
that's what allows me to go through life with a lot more peace and a lot more joy and a lot more abundance, right? So that this was a great lesson, and I'm so glad it happened because you as a teacher, you told me this backstage. It's a teachable moment. I used it to actually help my son. So
Yeah.
my son, he's a computer scientist. He graduated from Waterloo. Really smart kid, always smart his whole life. So he struggled a bit with perfection too, just like his mama, just like his grandparents and whatever.
Mhm.
And I always tried my best to make sure he felt loved for being who he is, not for what he did, right? That's one thing I did as a parent. But I know that, being in that world of like, mid 90s to get into university, to get into this program, and most kid, well, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of them drop out. My
Right.
kid made it through and he's working at Shopify. He has an incredible job. The kid is
Yeah.
the kid. He's a man now, but he's doing so well.
Yeah.
And but I know he struggles some, and I got his permission to say this today because today we're talking about mental health. He does struggle with anxiety sometimes. He says, "Mom, because I talk about the imposter syndrome. Yeah, yeah, Mom, I've struggled with that too." And I'm like, I get it, right? And yet my system may not be meant for my child because my child is on his own journey, right? So if he asks me about it, I'll tell him about what I do because
Mhm.
the thing that came through me, it saved my life. It took away my depression, anxiety, and panic disorder,
Mhm.
where I'm living aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed now, right? But
Right.
it's not for everyone, right? So my child is such an amazing man, and he, as I said, he struggled with anxiety, unlike, not unlike kids, people his age. He's going to be 27 this year. And so I thought this was great. Like, how great to see his mother realizing that she's, admitting she's not perfect. Like I didn't have to say I cheated, right? I could have kept that inside. They could have thought, wow, what a smart lady. Instead, I said, no, like this is wrong. And I
Yeah.
knew not to do it again. So I learned from it. And here's what I messaged him. Okay. So I'm just going to share it with you because I think it's really great to be honest. And then others can be honest in their lives. So I'd love to hear if this means anything to you. So I said, I know I disappointed you, boo. Call him boo. Here's the truth. I'm not perfect and you don't need to be either. There. Doesn't that feel lighter? And he said, LOL, don't worry, mom. I was just messing with you. I've skipped ones I didn't get to. Smiley face. And I put a bunch of smiley faces. I said, but seriously, making peace with our shadow self allows us to be more free as our authentic, not perfect self. I believe we don't need to show up shiny and perfect to be loved and accepted. We just need to be honest and real. I am HO, in my humble opinion. And
Yeah.
I said, we are never too old for a teachable moment, my son. I may use this as content for my YouTube show on Wednesday. And he wrote, very true. And then I put kissy, kissy face. And I said, yeah, hey, Dan, give me a call. I want to talk to you about the show because I wanted to get his permission to talk
Yeah.
about his situation.
Yeah.
So that was it. So honest to goodness, I just feel so light right now. It's
Yeah.
now out in the world, Elvira's not perfect. Well, good God, everybody knew that. But it's like to be able to to be able to say that I love my shadow and I want you to love your shadow too. And what
Yeah.
do you need to clear so you can love your shadow as well? Do you need to clear perfectionism? Do you need to clear control, power control issues where you need to be on top because God, forbid they know that you're not perfect, right? Like this is what I invite people to. So I'm going to drop it there and ask you for what
I
you
love
think,
it. Well, I
Lisa.
just want to read. Tori Joe says, perfectionism leads to anxiety. We as humans
Yes.
experiencing this existence of contrast, that's what I was just going to talk about, must let go of the idea of perfect, unquote.
Yeah.
And she
Thank
said,
you.
you are honestly fabulous, Elvira B. Hopper.
Oh, oh my God, I love you, Tori Joe, even more now. How can I love you even more? Thank you. Thank you. And
Jan
I
says,
and
I love this interaction with your son. I do too, because it's such a teachable moment, right?
yeah,
And what I'm just going to piggyback on what Tori Joe said, because that's exactly what I was about to go with, is this idea of the contrast, right? And
yeah.
Abraham Hicks talks about it all the time. We need contrast in our life because there was a couple of reasons in that for me that I'm pulling out is you got an opportunity to show your son, right,
Mhm,
that you're not
mhm.
perfect, but it also
Yeah,
gave him permission to not be so perfect and lessen his ideologies and paradigms and programs around
yeah,
being perfect. Because
yeah,
it does, as Tori Joe said, lead to anxiety, extreme anxiety. When
yeah,
you
yeah.
and I talked backstage about it, and I'm sure it's this way in the States. I don't know. I can only speak for, on Canadian schooling. And when they get into grade 9, which is high school here, and these kids are told, start choosing your courses to create your pathway for your future. You have to know
Mm,
your pathway for your future because after grade
yeah,
12 here in Canada, they go to, secondary, whether it's college, university, a trade, or whatever they choose to do. But if they're going to college or university, grade 9, you have to choose your pathway. You have to know which courses you're going to take so that you can apply to university in grade 12. Like, it blows my mind
yeah,
the
yeah,
that is what we put on our children,
yeah,
us as parents, society, school, the
yeah,
list goes. So it's no
yeah.
wonder there's so much anxiety.
Anxiety.
And I shared with you backstage, and I've had my daughter's permission as well for previous
Yeah,
podcasts I've done and whatnot, is she suffers from
yeah,
anxiety and extreme anxiety. And I
yeah,
just think, oh my God, the pressure that they put on themselves. Like, she's 22 and she thinks she has to have her whole life figured out right now.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't think it matters so much what we say to them as what we do. So what
Yes.
you did was you stood in your truth. You stood in
Yeah,
your authentic self and you allowed space for your son to see that. And
yeah.
trust me, it's not going to go unnoticed, right?
Mm,
Teaching in a job that I didn't love and opening my own business, coaching, and as scary as it is, trying to build a business, she sees that I'm doing what it is I'm doing. So when they see what you're doing, that
yeah,
speaks volumes
Yeah.
versus just preaching in their ear, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm getting chills as you're speaking. Yeah, and so many times my son has, said, "I'm so proud of you, mom, for what you're doing," and he's watching me living my truth. But this is deeper, right? Because we're onions, right? We're always releasing more layers, and I just feel that especially today, we're really talking about mental health. We should be talking about it every day,
Mhm.
but it's all about. I believe that when we do our inner work to get aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, real, not perfect, right? You can release anxiety, you can release depression, you can release all the crap that you had to be in order to be loved and liked. Like when I was a little
Mhm.
girl, I wanted to be an artist, an entertainer on a stage, singing and dancing, but I was told those women were sluts. So I wasn't
Mhm. Mhm.
allowed to be me, right? And then I said, okay, who do you need me to be so you will love me? And so many
Mhm.
of us contort ourselves into who our parents want us to be so that they can feel good, that my parents came to Canada when I was 5 for a better life. They didn't want a singer and dancer. They wanted a doctor or a lawyer or something. And,
Right.
and I had to be what they wanted me to be. But that nearly killed me. And, my last 2 years of corporate were depression, anxiety, and panic disorder. But now that's gone. It
Yeah.
literally left within a month when I got Love Your Vibe, Divinely Gifted. And yeah, and it's not for everybody. Like I haven't really I've shared a little bit with my son, but not much. He's not that, let's just say he's not that spiritual in the sense that we are. You have to
Yeah.
be someone who's open to spirituality, to a higher power that brought you here to serve.
Yeah.
He's more like, I said, I remember once when he came home from university after the first break. He had gone to Catholic school his whole life, right? So he was on the school board and everything. And he comes home and I think I said, I sneezed and I said, "Don't you say bless you?" And he goes, um, "Actually, mom," like, and he started talking about how when he was in this, lecture hall, somebody sneezed and nobody said bless you. And he goes, "Mom, I realized not everybody believes in God." And then he started taking philosophy classes where they show them like everything needs proof. How do you know there's a God, right? So my kiddo, God bless him, he doesn't know. He's not really atheist, but he's not really religious. He's or spiritual. He's agnostic. He doesn't know what he believes, and it's gonna unfold in time, right? So
Yeah.
so what's great is that the old me would have like freaked out and said, "Oh my God, my kid went to Catholic school. He doesn't believe in God. I'm a failure as a mother," right?
Yeah.
But the new me said, "You know what? He's on his path and he is okay. And I trust
Yeah.
that his higher power has him and it's all good." So that's why, people that do this work with me have to be like slightly spiritually open, like not totally. Like I remember coaching one amazing woman who didn't believe in God, but she believed in nature. She believed that there was a force that did bring her here. That's all she needed to believe to do Love Your Vibe. But it was, but my son, God bless him, he's on his own path, and if he asks me for help, I'll be there. If he doesn't, I won't be. This is the thing. Like in coaching school, they teach you can't coach your own family or friends, right?
Mhm.
Because
Oh, yeah.
you're too
100%.
close to them.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
too emotionally invested in them. So, yeah, but it's just it's amazing. It's amazing. This journey has just been fabulous. The last 11 years, just so much growth, and yeah. And I hope that this week was really good for. It was good for me. I hope it was for my son, and I hope it's good for anybody that watches this episode.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Tori Joe says I've battled with debilitating anxiety since 2004, and I understand the inner work needed. And that's the thing, right? It's the inner work that we need to tap into. I just had a client this morning, a healing energy client, and it's about tapping into the center of your soul, right?
Mm,
That
yeah.
center where everything resides, your truth resides. And you were speaking your truth to your son, which is
Mhm.
why you felt that, but you said in the studio, your vibrations raised. You already felt lighter. You felt energetically higher because
Yeah.
you tapped into your truth.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to be teaching our kids. I
Yeah.
really believe that. We need a school system that teaches them
Oh,
tap into their inner truth, right?
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
are you as a person? Let's really dive into the inner work. How amazing would the school system be if we did that? right?
Well, can I tell you, my
Oh,
my partner and I, Akoshua Brown, who is an amazing writer and publisher, we're writing a series of books that are going into the schools that are going to teach kids these concepts that we speak of in the Love Your Vibe transformation. We're going to share it in 4 different books: an elementary kids version, a high school kids version, a parents version, and a teacher's version. So
yeah,
we're going to share this inner work for in the school system. Don't know how it's going to happen, but the books will be ready, hopefully by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I'm not attached. It's in divine timing, not mine. But yeah, I really feel strongly that this work needs to be in the schools, because if more kids got it, there'd be less anxiety, less stress, more kids connected. Like, even if kids just sat down and meditated every day,
yeah,
for like 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, you know, they would be more connected to their inner truth, the
mhm,
voice of their soul, versus the voice of their head, which is what they get from everybody outside them. But if they tap into the voice of their soul, they're going to make better decisions, better choices, and they'll be
right?
happier, less stressful,
Yeah.
right?
Right, 100%. And when I was in the school system, we did mindfulness with the kids. Not every teacher picked it up.
Yeah.
Some did. Goldie Hawn wrote a book.
Mm.
It's escaping me. If anybody knows it, throw it in the comments. She wrote like, it's mindfulness for kids, right? But
Mhm.
the thing of it is for a school system to take those books and put them in, everything has to be attached to Ontario expectations,
Yeah.
curriculum
Yeah.
expectations, which is unfortunate in a way.
Yeah.
Um, to me, it is. Like, if I had my way, it wouldn't be. Not everything has to be aligned with curriculum expectations, but for them to buy into it, it does. So this Goldie Hawn, and again, the name is escaping me. The book. Um, it was a series of books. It was for it was for primary, junior, and intermediate. And she
Okay.
had teachers could take them, and there were lessons in it that they
Yeah.
could do. And it
Exactly.
talked about the amygdala hijack and what's happening
Yeah.
when you're it taught it in a kid way,
Yeah.
to the point
Exactly.
where I had this amazing when I was a consultant, this amazing kindergarten teacher. Oh my God, she was so the epitome of a kindergarten teacher, amazing inquiry-based learning. The kids, any kid who was so lucky to be in her class. And um, one of the kids came up to her and she said, "Miss, my amygdala has totally hijacked." And I could go and
I love it. I love it.
right?
Oh
So
my
it was
gosh.
pretty cool that they had kind of like the science
Yeah,
behind it
yeah,
too. But anyway, yes,
yeah,
Janet says
yeah.
all this is so needed. Almost every new patient my husband sees right now puts down anxiety on their forms. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Wow.
Can I read that thing that
Yes,
we
absolutely. Yeah. So
so
so yeah,
Tabby in her friend's post, MJ's in this
yes.
group. She wants
MJ
to do some
McQueen, she's
yes,
my fabulous graphic artist. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Awesome. So thank you, MJ, for posting this. I actually said I love it as well. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'll read it. So self-compassion says, and then the wheel. And around the wheel, I forgive myself for what I did when I was still learning. They have a right to turn me down and do what's best for them. It is not a reflection of my worth. I liked that. I made a mistake, but I am not a mistake.
thank you.
Things didn't go as planned, but I can celebrate trying my best in whatever way that looks from day to day. I have stuff to work on, but I am worth the work. I may not be where I want to be yet, but that doesn't mean I won't get there. I am not meant to be perfect. I am human. I love it.
Isn't that
I think
great?
I love it. So either one
Yeah,
of us will post this in the comments or
yeah,
in our group, because I think that it's like you said in the comments, that it speaks to what we're talking about today. I think
yeah,
every single one. I want to print that off and have it
yeah,
on my desk
yeah,
so that
right?
we remember that, right?
Yes,
Because so
yes.
many of us talk about, getting discouraged because we're not further ahead, feeling shamed because we made a mistake, or whatever the situation is. If we can just that little reminder, we're
Yeah,
not a mistake, right? We're
yeah.
not perfect.
We're not perfect. We're real. And who wants
We're
who wants perfect anyway? Perfect is irritating. Honest to God,
it
like that concept alone, be real, not perfect, is what allowed me to become a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. I
Yeah.
realized I didn't have to be perfect to be on that stage. I just needed
Yeah.
to share something from my heart and soul. That's actually the name of my first jazz band, Heart and Soul. And you know what? When I'm on stage, I don't even worry about what I sound like. And I'm a bit of a unicorn in the jazz world. This is what I call myself, because a lot of, jazz performers, they practice every day and they want to get it right. And I just don't. I just show up on stage and I sound like I sound, right? And I always say this makes people laugh. If I sound like crap one night, it's because someone in the audience is meant to go, she did this at 51 professionally. She's not even that good. I'm going to go do my thing too. Maybe there's an artist in them. Like if I've launched them into doing their art because they realize, okay, like I give people permission to be themselves. Like this is what people tell me. I activate them. I give them permission. And it's if I did that, that's good. I don't care if I sounded like crap because it served a purpose, right? And now I realize my purpose to sing is to do sound healing. So I brought my
Yes.
instruments if you want to hear a little one at the end.
Yeah.
Um,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And you know what? And it's the same as what these are on Wednesdays. We talked about this last week. We don't rehearse what we're going to talk about. It's like 10
No,
minutes.
we
before we go
channel.
live, we channel it. We say, yep, this sounds great. Let's talk about it. And then whatever comes through, comes through. And whatever
Yeah.
comes through is meant to be heard
Yes.
for each and every one of the people that are listening. So
Well,
I'm
at least one person, but hopefully more. Yeah, exactly.
I say more because we're
Yeah.
on here right now.
Yeah.
So that's great. Tori Jo says, I do want to know where to go to listen to your heart and soul. I love jazz.
Ah. Well, we do have an album out there somewhere in the zeitgeist. Let me look it up, and I'll see if I can get that for you, Tori Joe. But if you Google Elvira Hopper YouTube, you'll see videos of me on YouTube, and yeah, it's heart and soul, because Primavera Jazz Duo has only been around for a couple years. My second jazz duo, so everything online is all heart and soul. So yeah, just feel free to Google Elvira Hopper or YouTube.
And there's a
Thank you.
Facebook user here who says 10 mindful minutes giving our children and ourselves the social and emotional skills to reduce stress and anxiety for healthier, happier lives. That's the Goldie Hawn book.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that, user. Yeah.
Yeah. Heather is here. Heather says, good morning, ladies. Love this combo. I'm so glad that people are
Aw,
loving
thank you,
serves them.
Heather.
We hope that this has given you permission not to be
Yes,
so perfect and just be
yes,
real, like just be
yes.
real in whatever it is you're doing. Um, and I do believe that we're led and we're guided into certain experiences, certain things for us. And we've talked about that so many times that things
Yeah.
happen for us.
For us, not to
So,
us. That's what
yeah.
we say in Love Your Vibe. Yeah. For us, not to us.
It's such a true statement, right? I mean, Wayne Dyer used to use it. Like it's just yes, it's happening for us, not to us.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I believe that all of these experiences that we have in this lifetime are here to serve us in some way. And that's the open-mindedness you talked about earlier. When we're open-minded enough to do the inner work, to go
Yeah.
deeper, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think it's one thing, I was talking to somebody who has extreme depression and she feels debilitated by it, and she doesn't know what to do, and it doesn't have the money to do other things like work with myself, work with you, work with whoever. So I gave us some suggestions. Could you start small? Are you reading
Yeah.
some mindful
Yeah.
books that are helping you come out, just even step up a little bit
Yeah.
out of that extreme depression? And
Oh,
right, just help yourself.
I'm feeling that energy. It's so heavy. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
really heavy. So, and I get it. I've been there. So what can
Yeah.
you do?
Been there. Been
Put
there.
one foot in front of the other, not 10 steps, just one little foot in front of the
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
and sometimes if you don't have the money to work with, myself, you, other coaches that are in this group, then honestly, I would start small and I would
Yeah.
start a meditation practice.
Yeah.
I would start to do some reading in the mindful area, like the self-help books, like the Wayne
Yeah.
Dyer, Louise Hay, those types of books. Because if you're not doing that for yourself, it's not just going to magically lift.
No,
Depression
no.
doesn't just magically go
You
away.
have to take action, inspired action, even just watching YouTube videos. Heck, watch our series, right? We've got,
Yes.
I think there's going to be like 9 today, I think.
Yeah.
And watch other people's, watch Abraham Hicks. Yeah, there's so much great content out there if you can't
For
afford
free.
it. But
For
if you
free.
can afford it, you know, like it's worth investing in yourself to
Yeah.
go deeper, right? To get that one-on-one support, right? So when I work with clients, like I have all these different modalities that I pull out depending on what they need, right? I'm sure you do as well, Lisa.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Um,
MJ is here, by the way. I just want to say, she
oh,
says
hi,
MJ
MJ.
is here. Her name wasn't showing up on,
Oh,
yeah.
there you go. Okay. Thank you for sharing that today. You helped us to make the episode even better. Thank you,
I
MJ. We
love
love
it,
you.
MJ. I actually have saved it in my photos and I want to print it off. So love it.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Yay, yay. I'm
All right.
feeling called to this
I,
and closing down. Would that be okay?
I love that we
Yeah.
closed with,
Okay.
I never took notes.
Amazing. It's a gift, right? I have to share it with the world, right?
Love it.
Okay, so I invite everyone to close their eyes and just take in these 2 tones today that will bless you and help you have a most beautiful high vibration day. Great Spirit Divine, bless my beautiful sisters and brothers, allow them to shine their beautiful light in this world. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Namaste. Aloha.
Namaste. Aloha.
Oh my goodness. And with that, my friends, we are going to end this. What a beautiful, I just find that such a beautiful way to end. So thank you, Elvira, for sharing.
Anytime.
Thank you. So beautiful. And thank you to all of you who have joined
Yes.
today live. We really, really, from the bottom of my heart, and I know I'm speaking for Elvira when we say thank you so much for joining us, supporting us on this journey, and just making this more engaging and fun, right? It's just always more
Yes.
fun to have others with us on the journey. So thank you.
Yes.
And if you're watching
Amazing.
on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe away. We really appreciate you as well. And until next week, we will
Yeah.
see you again.
Mwah.
Bye for now.
Bye.
3, 2,